you can also set 2 timers. If you want to do it every morning, 7:05 when you go to work, and then at 6 p.m. when you're returning from work, you can set it up like that. Smart Climate has these 7 5-minute programs. So, for example, I feel like I need some fresh air. You click on the fresh air here, and for 5 minutes, it will bring more fresh air.
All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the VW ID Talk podcast. We are Wes and Jan, and we're so glad you're here. If you're passionate about Volkswagen, EVs, and all things electric, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Don't forget, you can also catch us on your favorite podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Overdrive, and of course here on YouTube for a more visual experience. So Jan and I, behind the scenes here, we're just having a heated discussion. We are discussing, Jan?
Heating and air conditioning. So while we are having heated discussion, we are cool to each other. What we hope to explain today is how do you best get in control of your heating and air conditioning, and why we are even talking about that, because, well, there are 2 different modes. Because it's an electric car, so it has stationary and regular AC. So many of you might be very well familiar with the regular. Hopefully you'll find few tricks, but you may not have used the stationary as much. So Wes, what's the difference between the 2? Can you describe those 2 a little bit, please?
Sure. Yeah. So stationary mode would be a way to use the HVAC system when you are sitting still. Say you're sitting in a parking lot and you want to have the air conditioner run while you wait on your kids to finish their sports event, or you are waking up in the morning and you know you're going to be in your car in 15 minutes and you want to use your app to remotely start your climate control. And with those things, there's a more limited set of features that you can use. Basically, there's the temperature, and you can also schedule it, right, with the car software to turn it on. So we're going to go over all that. And then the regular mode would be just, of course, what you use while you're driving your car. It has a lot more things you could do the stationary doesn't do.
Yeah, totally. And why the stationary mode is maybe special or different than for an ICE vehicle. Yes, there are some ICE vehicles that have so-called auxiliary heating, that it's like a separate motor that turns on and heats your car. For an EV, you have the battery with the high voltage battery with you all the time. And this high voltage battery, of course, not only can power the heating, but also the cooling. All right, so now you might be wondering how to turn on the either heating or cooling before you drive. The easiest way is to do it through your app. So you open My VW app, click on climate, and you see that there are also some settings. So we'll show you first the settings where you can set the temperature. You can also click the checkbox if you want to turn on Windows Defogger. And when you're ready with these settings, you can just hit on. And depending on if your car is awake, it can be very quick response. And if your car is sleeping, it may take a little bit more time for you to get that confirmation.
Gotcha.
There's one thing that we need to keep in mind here, that both your phone and the car have to have a cellular reception, because the app talks to your car through internet, through the VW cloud specifically. So both of them need to be connected for this to work as intended.
Right. You're not connecting directly to your car via Bluetooth or something like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. When you finish your drive, put the car into park, and you're still in the vehicle, then you can turn on this immediate climate control by just sliding this checkbox. So it's very easy, and it keeps on running. Climate control stays for 20 or 30 minutes. It's definitely a limited time. It will.
But before you get out of the car, you can just hit the button, you get out, you walk away, you do what you need to do, and you can come back knowing that if you've left Fido in the back seat, that Fido will be safe and air conditioned.
But it's not a dog mode, right? So it is not running indefinitely. It is time limited. So be very careful about that.
Yeah. I wouldn't do more than 10 or 15 minutes.
Yep. 100%.
Okay.
Now, how to set the temperature and what happens with your seat and steering wheel heating is done through your infotainment. And there is a special icon for it that is called auxiliary climate control.
Okay.
And so if I briefly show you all what's inside. So when you click in, you see that you can set the departure time, you can set the temperature, and also which seats will be heated, and if your front or rear windshields will be defogged. You can also set 2 timers. You can pick a date and time when it will kick in, it will start. So for example, if you want to do it every morning, 7:05 when you go to work, and then at 6 p.m. when you're returning from work, you can set it up like that. And then in the settings, there is one interesting checkbox that controls whether once you unlock your car, so immediately once you unlock your car, it could start either heating or air conditioning to the desired temperature.
Oh, okay. So like if you're approaching your car and you click the button on your key fob, it could go ahead and start the. Yeah, that's really nice. It's funny, I didn't even know about this schedule until we decided to record this video, and it's that's darn useful. If you leave the house at the same time every day, that's
Exactly. And some people kind of do a small hack that our cars don't have camping mode yet, not even ID bars. And so this could be a workaround to kind of set two heating or air conditioning sessions for the night. It's not perfect, of course, because it, again, runs for the limited amount of time, 20 or 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. But still, there's at least something than nothing.
Yeah, okay.
Now, let's go to the regular climate. I'm sure you all know the regular climate because you've been using it while you're driving. There is, surprisingly, no icon on the screen to get into the climate controls. There are two ways to do it. You can either click on the region here on the left, and the new software, ID software version 4, it's a little different. There is a dedicated bar on the bottom of the screen that has all the climate controls kind of pinned to the screen.
But that is for 2024 and newer ID.4s and the ID Buzz, right?
And the ID Buzz, yeah. Mm-hmm,
okay.
Mm-hmm. But for us who are still on the version 3, we got to click either into this space or touch the Clima or climate button below the navigation. So here there are two ways to control it: through Smart Climate, Classic Climate, we'll talk about it, or some advanced filtration, so-called air care. Now, if you're wondering how to turn off your air conditioning, there's this power on and off button, so you can turn it off, so you will hear the blower turns off. You can also see that the Smart Climate has these 7 5-minute programs. So these are not permanent settings. This is just a program. For example, I feel like I need some fresh air. You click on the fresh air here, and for 5 minutes, it will bring more fresh air.
I actually don't think I realized that before this video either. So that's really...
It's a limited program. There's like a progress bar that is going around the tile. And then on the bottom, there is this bar that is the same as on the Classic Climate. Well, there's one exception. But what you can, of course, do, you can turn on seat heating, you can change the temperature, and you can also swipe on the display. I didn't know that either, that you can swipe either on the touch control down below, or you can swipe on the display to set the desired temperature.
Okay.
Then, of course, the sync is for syncing left and right seats. And if your passenger wants to be really toasty, you can, of course, adjust or cool. You can adjust the temperature. And then as we move into the Classic Climate, the Classic Climate has some default setting for the default fan. So sometimes when the car is full, when there are 4 people, I like to adjust it to high. But so I have more airflow. But one thing that I really like this style of air conditioning is that you can adjust the amount of fan speed or amount of air that gets pushed into the cabin. And then you see that the bottom is very similar. The one exception is that the steering wheel heating button is here, and it's not on the Smart Climate. It is what it is.
Right. So if you're normally using Smart Climate and you want to manually control your steering wheel heat, you have to go into Classic Climate to do that.
Yes, or click the heat my hands, right? Warm my hands, because that would also turn on the steering wheel heater.
Gotcha.
All right. So once we are in the Classic here, again, you see that you can very directly control many settings, as we talked about it, including as to where the air blows. If the air blows to the screen on the body, so those are the vents along the dashboard, or to the bottom. Now, many of us want to also recycle the air in case that there's some smoke or something outside that you don't want to pull into your cabin. So there is a special button for that, but there is a trick. You can create a shortcut, and we'll show that. We'll show that in a minute. And outside of this recycling, there is a air care, which is an advanced air filtration mode that checks the pollution of the interior cabin and decides how to filter the air appropriately. Now, let's take a look at those shortcuts. So wherever you are, you can swipe from the top, and you see that there are 4 shortcuts. And you can customize these. For example, you have the seat heater or the front window heating. But if you press and hold, you can literally customize this and move any other command to this spot that you need. So for example, the air care. So my air care was on, now I turn it off. So this shortcut menu is my way how I access the air recirculation, because it's relatively easiest. But there's also a setting that the car detects a pollution from outside and turns it on.
Wow, I did not know about any of those things.
Cool.
Yeah, what's next?
What's next? Well, this is something that we've both been scratching our heads because Volkswagen has combined functions into something that they call light and vision. And so this light and vision center, it's the switch where you, of course, control your headlights, and we have an episode about that. But you can also turn on the rear heating. If you have all-wheel drive, you can turn on the front windshield heating. Or you can then press this max button that will invoke a special function or special setting on your HVAC. Like it will turn on the airflow towards the windshield, turn on air conditioning, and boost the fan a little bit. So that's like a one press button.
Yeah, it seems like a strange thing to combine those disconnected features into one place.
I hear you. I hear you. But that's where we are. The one, what I like about the max button here is that if you want to heat your cabin, let's say after a day of skiing, and let's say that you skied in a place where your car or your phone didn't have reception, so you could not activate it remotely, then when you open your car, then that's the first button that you can kind of reach inside of the vehicle because it's close to the door. And within like 5 minutes, the car is nice and toasted, and then you can start scrubbing the snow and all that jazz.
Right, that makes sense.
All right, so one last. Voice control. So yes. So you can talk to your ID. So you can press the button on the steering wheel. And I'm saying, can you, my hands are cold. And she says something like on it or working on it. And then when I press the smart climate, you see what it did. It activated that warm hands program for me automatically. So I don't have to open this, click and find which one it is and click it. I can just talk to it.
Okay. And you set yours up where instead of using the wake word, the Hey ID, you just press the button on your steering wheel. And
that is correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can also adjust the temperature. There are so many other voice commands that you can use to control your AC.
Okay.
All right. So that's it. We've talked about the 2 modes, the one that is stationary and the other one that is used while you're driving. Hopefully you find this interesting. So please subscribe and join the VWIDtalk.com for more discussion about VW IDs. Thank you. Bye.
See you next time.